The Great Galactic Council was the heart of the universe. It was where the strongest empires met, where decisions of war and peace were made, and where only the most powerful were allowed a seat at the circle. The chamber itself was massive, carved inside a hollowed asteroid that floated near a dying star. Golden pillars rose high, wrapped with glowing energy, and each seat was built for a different species, some for creatures with claws, some for reptilian tails, others for insectoid wings. The air buzzed with alien languages, mixed with the sharp metallic hum of translation drones. On this day, every seat was full. The Zorak warlords, armored in dark scales, sat with weapons resting across their knees. The insectoid queens of the Creel hive moved their antennae impatiently, their armored guards standing behind them. The serpent-like emperors of the Chal coiled around their chairs, their eyes glowing like burning suns. It was a council of giants, and every race there believed itself untouchable. A booming voice echoed through the chamber. The next petition, the Speaker of the Council declared, comes from a human race. The word itself, human, was met with laughter. A ripple of mocking sounds filled the chamber. From a Zorak side, a warlord slammed his claw against the table, grinning with sharp teeth. Humans? The apes from the death world, he hissed. They asked for a seat here? The insectoid queen clicked her mandibles together, a sound of amusement. One planet, fragile ships, weak bodies. They're still infants. Let them wait another 1,000 years before speaking in our hall. The laughter grew louder. Across the galaxy, trillions were watching through live broadcast. Every council meeting was streamed on GalacticNet, and the sight of humans being mocked was already spreading. But the human delegation did not laugh. Only one man stood at the chamber's edge. His name was Captain Marcus Hale. He wore no armor, no glowing symbols of power, only a simple uniform of Earth's defense forces. He carried no weapon. He spoke no words. He only stood in silence, watching the great council argue about his worth. The speaker raised his hand. Humanity requests that one of their warriors be granted a seat. They claim their species has proven strength in battle and deserves recognition as a power. The reaction was instant. The Zorak warlord roared in laughter. A single ape warrior? Is this a joke? Every empire here has fought for centuries. We command fleets of 10,000 ships. We crush planets, and humans bring us one man. Another alien, a winged Varen noble, sneered. Perhaps they misunderstand. This is not a contest for pets. This is the Council of Empires, a place for gods of war, not fragile primates. The laughter echoed again, but Marcus did not flinch. His eyes scanned the room, calm and cold. He noticed the way the Creel queens tapped their claws when they mocked him. He studied the way the Zoraks slammed their claws for every word. He learned. He always learned. Behind the thick doors of the chamber, human ambassadors stood nervously. They whispered to each other in fear. Why didn't Earth send a fleet? One asked. Why didn't they send diplomats with speeches? Another muttered. But Marcus Hale had been chosen for a reason. The council continued mocking. A reptilian emperor leaned forward, his voice like thunder. One ape cannot sit among empires. If Earth wishes to be recognized, let them prove their worth in the arena of power. The insectoid queen added, yes. Let their warrior fight. Let him show his strength, if he has any. The council roared in approval. The chamber shook with alien voices. The decision was clear. Humanity's request was denied. The humans would not be given a seat. But Marcus Hale finally moved. He stepped forward into the chamber, his boots echoing against the stone floor. The laughter quieted slightly as the aliens realized he was not leaving. The speaker frowned. Human, your request has been rejected. Leave now. Marcus's voice was steady, calm, and carried across the chamber. Earth does not leave. Earth does not bow. If strength is what you ask for, then test me. Test one human against your best. The council froze for a moment, stunned by his audacity. The Zorak warlord grinned, his teeth glinting. You dare to challenge us? One against many? You will be broken before the galaxy. Marcus did not blink. Then break me. Across the galaxy, the broadcast screens went silent. Billions of eyes were fixed on the lone human standing against the greatest empires of the universe. No armor, no weapons, just unshaken will. The speaker hesitated, but the chamber was already roaring with excitement. The arena of worlds had not been used for years. Now, it would open again for a single human challenger. The insectoid queen hissed with laughter. Let the ape fight. Let the galaxy watch his death. But Marcus Hale stood calm, his face unreadable. Inside his chest, his heart beat steady, slow, controlled. He had been trained for this moment his entire life. What the aliens didn't understand, what they had never seen, was that humans were not built like other species. They didn't fight because of pride. They didn't endure because of tradition. They fought because they had no other choice. Marcus knew this truth. And soon, so would the galaxy. The speaker raised his hands. It is decided. The human warrior will be tested in the arena. If he survives, humanity will be given a seat. If he dies, Earth will remain silent. The council cheered. Marcus Hale turned and walked toward the great doors of the arena. His shadow stretched long across the glowing floor. He did not look back. Behind him, the greatest powers of the galaxy believed they had already won. They believed they were about to watch a spectacle, a fragile human crushed by monsters. But Marcus knew the truth. The council had just made a mistake. They had denied humanity a seat, and they would regret it instantly. The arena was enormous. It floated above a gas giant, tethered to a ring of satellites that pulsed with alien energy. The air shimmered with holograms projecting the live council debate, and trillions across the galaxy watched with bated breath. Inside the arena, champions of countless empires were already assembled. Hulking reptilians flexed their claws. Insectoid warriors clicked their mandibles in anticipation. Beings taller than buildings adjusted their weapons, each radiating the lethal aura of a seasoned killer. And then came Marcus Hale, one human, wearing nothing but a simple uniform and the faint scars of Earth's wars. No weapon, no armor, just a calm, steady gaze. The crowd, both alien and human, stirred. But the alien delegates in the council chamber did not hold back. "Do you see him?" hissed a Zorak warlord, his claws tapping the armrest of his chair. "This thing is supposed to fight our champions? He will die before he takes a step." The insectoid queen clacked her mandibles in amusement. "A human? This is not entertainment. This is foolishness. Watch as he breaks under our strength." The Varen noble flapped his wings and added, "Perhaps he is too naive to understand what he faces. Or maybe he is insane. Either way, this will be amusing." Marcus did not flinch. His eyes scanned the arena, studying the creatures before him. Every movement, every twitch of muscle, every glint of a weapon, it all went into his mind. A human ambassador whispered through the communicator in his ear, "Captain, they are laughing. The entire galaxy thinks we are foolish." Marcus replied in a low voice, "Let them laugh. They will stop soon enough." The first challenger was called forward. A massive, four-armed reptilian warlord, scales glimmering in crimson light, claws sharp enough to tear a starship in two. The crowd gasped, some cheering for the alien, others holding their breath at the challenge. "Step forward, human," the warlord growled. His voice echoed like a drum of war. "I will crush you." Marcus stepped to the center of the arena. He raised no weapons. He bowed slightly, not in respect, but as a signal that he was ready. The warlord lunged first. The alien's claws swiped with terrifying speed. Marcus dodged. He ducked, rolled, and used the alien's own momentum to push it off balance. The audience in the arena gasped. The alien had never been challenged like this. Behind the arena doors, the council erupted in laughter. "See," shouted the Zorak warlord. "Pathetic. He will die in moments." But Marcus did not panic. Each dodge, each movement was precise. He struck with bare hands, exploiting weaknesses no alien had taught him to notice. In seconds, the massive reptilian champion fell, stunned and unable to continue. A shocked silence spread across the chamber. The insectoid queen hissed in disbelief. "Impossible. How could one human?" Another challenger stepped forward, this time from the Creel hive. A six-limbed warrior, armored with chitin harder than diamond, wielding twin energy blades. The crowd cheered for the alien. Marcus faced the creature calmly. He moved with the confidence of someone who had trained his entire life for impossible odds. The Creel swung, aiming to slice him apart in one strike. Marcus ducked and rolled. He grabbed the alien's wrist mid-swing and used its own force to fling it to the ground. The audience erupted in shock. The council murmured nervously. The laughter was dying. One by one, the alien champions came forward. Each was faster, stronger, deadlier than the last. The galaxy expected Marcus to break, to fall. And yet, he continued. Every time he dodged, struck, or used clever tactics, the whispers grew. How is he surviving? What is happening to the humans? The insectoid queen leaned forward, her antennae twitching. This cannot be natural, she said. One human cannot possibly overcome so many. There must be a trick. The Zorak warlord's claws shook. No, he is good. Too good. For the first time, fear crept into the council chamber. Marcus did not notice. He had no time for fear. Every movement counted. Every second in the arena was a test. He had to survive. Not for glory, not for recognition, but for the survival of his species. He remembered the words of his commander on Earth. The galaxy does not respect humans. They fear us. Show them why they should. And that was what he was doing. Another alien champion approached, a massive being from the Chal Empire. Its tail lashed violently, crushing parts of the arena as it moved. Its eyes burned with hatred, as if it could smell Marcus's defiance. Marcus faced it, not with weapons, but with sheer courage and focus. He waited, watching the giant's movements, predicting every strike, every swing. When the time came, he moved like lightning, striking with precision that left the alien stunned. The audience gasped. The council fell silent. The mocking laughter that had filled the chamber for hours was gone. The aliens were starting to understand one thing. Humans were not weak. Humans were not fragile. Marcus had proven that one human could face many and survive. The insectoid queen whispered, almost to herself. Perhaps we were wrong to mock them, but it was too late for apologies. Across the galaxy, trillions watched. For the first time, they saw the human spirit, unyielding, clever, and fearless. The mockery had ended, and the council was beginning to fear what Marcus Hale and the human race could truly do. The arena's gates opened wide, revealing a battlefield like no other. It stretched for miles, floating above a shattered moon, its surface a mosaic of glowing energy lines and jagged rocks. The crowd roared as champions from countless empires marched forward. Each was larger than life. Reptilian titans with claws sharp enough to crush metal. Insectoid warriors with blades glinting like diamonds. Massive beings from the Chal Empire, their tails lashing through the air like whips of fire. Each moved with deadly precision, knowing the arena was a test of strength and skill. Marcus Hale stepped forward alone, one human, standing in the center of the arena, unarmed, uncloaked, no armor, nothing but instinct and will. The crowd's noise shifted from laughter to astonishment. Across the galaxy, trillions of eyes were fixed on him. Some were curious. Some were afraid. Many doubted he could survive even the first strike. The first champion approached, a hulking Zorak warlord, muscles bulging, claws extended. Its eyes burned like molten gold. Marcus did not flinch. He studied the alien's movements carefully. When the warlord lunged, Marcus moved like lightning, dodging the claws with precision. He rolled across the arena floor and leapt onto a jagged rock, using the alien's momentum to push it off balance. The crowd gasped. The Zorak roared in fury and charged again. This time Marcus waited, watching for the smallest opening. When it came, he struck, not with power, but with precision, hitting weak points on the alien's joints. The warlord fell, stunned and unable to fight further. The other aliens watched closely now, their confidence fading. The second challenger was faster, an insectoid queen wielding twin energy blades. Her movements were a blur, mandibles clicking in excitement. She attacked with incredible speed, each swing meant to kill. Marcus dodged. He ducked, rolled, and used the alien's own momentum to sweep her off her feet. She landed heavily, struggling to get up. Whispers spread through the arena. This human. He moves too fast. He predicts every strike. The council in the chamber leaned forward, their laughter replaced with nervous murmurs. Even the insectoid queen watching from her seat twitched her antennae uneasily. The third challenger was enormous. A Chal warrior with a tail tipped like a hammer. Its size alone should have crushed Marcus. It swung with incredible force, smashing the arena floor beneath him. Rocks exploded, energy sparks flew, and the crowd gasped at the display. Marcus dodged, narrowly avoiding the tail. He studied the giant's movements, learning, adapting. One mistake, one hesitation, and he would be gone. But Marcus never hesitated. He moved with calm determination, striking weak points with his fists and feet, exploiting every flaw. The crowd began to cheer for the human, not out of allegiance, but out of awe. Across the galaxy, trillions of eyes were witnessing something never seen before. A single human holding his own against champions of the greatest empires. The council murmured in fear. The Zorak warlord slammed a claw against his chair. "How is this possible?" he growled. "One ape cannot defeat so many." The insectoid queen clicked her mandibles nervously. "He is different. His species must have evolved, something we cannot understand." Marcus ignored their words. His focus was on survival, on victory. He knew the stakes. If he failed, humanity would remain unheard. If he survived, the galaxy would finally see the true power of a human. The fourth challenger appeared. A creature from the Creel hive, six-limbed and faster than any human could imagine. Its blades sliced through the air, generating sparks as it cut through the arena's metal panels. Marcus waited, studying the rhythm of its attack. Then, in a sudden burst of speed, he closed the distance, used the alien's momentum, and sent it crashing into the arena wall. The crowd erupted in astonishment. For the first time, the council whispered among themselves. "He is skilled beyond belief," one said. "This human, he is not ordinary." The final challenger, the champion of the Zorak Empire, emerged. Twice the size of Marcus, covered in black scales that shimmered like molten metal, with claws like scythes. Its roar shook the arena. The crowd fell silent. This was the greatest warrior of the council, undefeated for centuries. Marcus stood his ground. His breathing was steady, his eyes cold. He did not move too early. He waited. The giant lunged. Marcus dodged. The crowd held its breath. The fight had begun. Blow after blow, the Zorak champion swung with deadly force. Marcus dodged, blocked, countered. Every strike he received, he absorbed. Every attack he delivered was precise. The arena shook with their battle. Rocks exploded, energy sparks flew, and the holographic broadcast of the fight across the galaxy froze millions in awe. The alien swung its claws with fury, trying to crush Marcus in a single strike. Marcus rolled under the swing, grabbed the giant's arm, and used the alien's momentum to throw it to the ground. The giant tried to rise, but Marcus did not give a chance. With skill and precision, he struck weak points, disarming the champion's deadly claws. The crowd gasped. The impossible had happened. The human had defeated all the champions of the greatest empires. Even the council members fell silent. The insectoid queen whispered, almost to herself, "Perhaps we underestimated them." Marcus Hale stood tall, bloodied, bruised, but unbroken. He looked around the arena, breathing steadily. Not a word of arrogance. Not a gesture of pride. Just calm, collected victory. Across the galaxy, trillions watched in awe. For the first time, the human race had shown its true strength. Not through fleets or weapons, but through courage, skill, and willpower. The trial was over. The mockery had ended. And the galaxy would never underestimate a human again. The arena fell silent. Marcus Hale stood alone, his chest rising and falling steadily, his uniform torn and stained with bruises and dust, but his eyes remained sharp, cold, and unwavering. Around him, the defeated champions of the galaxy lay scattered, their once proud forms now bent and broken. The trillions watching across the galaxy could hardly believe what they had just witnessed. Every empire had sent their strongest, their deadliest, and every one of them had fallen before a single human. Inside the Great Galactic Council, the mood had shifted dramatically. What had begun as laughter, mockery, and condescension had now transformed into quiet whispers, nervous glances, and even fear. The Zorak warlord slammed his claw against the armrest of his chair, his teeth gritted. "This is impossible," he growled. "One human against all of our champions, and he survives? There must be trickery." The insectoid queen's antennae twitched rapidly. No trickery. His movements, his reflexes, they are perfect. He does not fight like a creature of instinct. He fights like a machine, like a predator born to survive. A Varen noble, his wings quivering slightly, whispered to the reptilian emperor beside him. "We laughed at them. We mocked them. And now I fear what we have done. What if this is only the beginning?" Marcus did not speak. He did not look at the council. His focus remained on the arena and the challenge that still awaited. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and he would make them realize their mistake. The human ambassador, standing near the council seats, whispered nervously into his communicator. "Captain, they are frightened. The entire chamber, even the Creel hive, they fear you." Marcus' reply was calm, steady. "Good. Let them fear. It is not arrogance. It is truth." Outside the arena, alien delegates began to whisper among themselves. The words were cautious now. The mocking laughter had vanished. "Do you see what we have done?" hissed a Zorak lieutenant. "We denied them a seat. We told them they are weak. And now," he trailed off, eyes wide with unease. The insectoid queen's voice was cold, almost warning. "We may have awakened something we cannot control. One human, has shown strength beyond reason." The Varen emperor leaned forward, his claws trembling. "Perhaps it is time we reconsider our judgments. Perhaps humanity is not to be mocked, but feared." But fear did not mean submission. Marcus understood this. He had faced armies, predators, and the most ruthless beings the galaxy had to offer. Humans survived where others perished, not because of size or strength, but because of courage, intelligence, and unbreakable will. The arena doors opened again. A new challenger approached. This one was not just strong, but cunning. A creature from the Chal Empire, known across star systems for its brutal tactics and intelligence. Its eyes glowed with calculated malice. The crowd shifted, whispering nervously. Marcus faced the creature without hesitation. He did not swing blindly. He studied it. Every movement, every twitch, every microsecond of imbalance was a clue. The first strike came. The Chal lunged, massive tail swinging like a whip, intending to crush Marcus instantly. But Marcus rolled beneath it, barely touching the ground as sparks flew where the tail slammed. He struck with a calculated kick to the creature's weak joint. The alien faltered, stunned, off balance. Gasps echoed across the arena. Even the council could no longer hide their fear. The Zorak warlord muttered under his breath, "No human should be able to do this. It is unnatural." But it was not unnatural. It was the essence of humanity, adaptable, relentless, intelligent, and fearless. Marcus had trained for this. He had prepared for impossible odds. And now, the galaxy was seeing the true face of a human warrior. The Chal lunged again, faster, stronger, but Marcus anticipated every strike. He used the alien's weight, its momentum, and even its rage against it. Blow after blow, he countered. The creature fell, staggering, gasping for breath. Marcus stood firm, unbroken, watching as the mighty Chal realized defeat. For the first time in centuries, the council witnessed something impossible. One human, standing victorious against champions who had never known failure. Whispers turned to murmurs. Murmurs turned to shouts. The laughter of earlier had been replaced by nervous gasps. The fear was spreading like wildfire. The insectoid queen clutched her mandibles in disbelief. We denied them a seat, and now they have proven what? That one human can face all of us. The Zorak warlord growled, more quietly now, that they cannot be controlled. They cannot be ignored. We have underestimated them, and that mistake will cost us dearly. Marcus walked slowly across the arena floor. Each step was measured, controlled. He did not gloat. He did not celebrate. Every eye watched him, and every empire realized the truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not fragile. Humanity was dangerous. The whispers in the council grew louder. "What does this mean for the council?" asked a Creole delegate. "If one human can do this alone, what happens when the entire species fights?" Marcus stopped, looking at the galaxy that had doubted him. In that moment, fear radiated not from his actions, but from the realization of what humans could accomplish. The arena had become more than a battlefield. It was a revelation, a warning, a signal that humanity was no longer to be mocked. The rising fear had begun, and the council and the galaxy would never forget the day they laughed at a human warrior. The arena was quiet now, but the tension was unbearable. Marcus Hale stood alone, his uniform torn, bruises covering his body, sweat dripping down his face, but his eyes burned with unwavering determination. He had defeated every champion the council had sent against him. Every empire's greatest warrior had fallen, and now only one remained. From the shadowed gates of the arena emerged the legendary champion of the Zorak Empire. A towering figure twice Marcus's size, covered in black obsidian-like scales that shimmered with deadly energy. Its claws were razor-sharp, curved like scythes, and its eyes glowed like molten gold. The being had never been defeated, and it radiated the power of centuries of conquest. The council fell silent. Even the insectoid queens stopped clicking their mandibles. The Zorak warlord leaned forward, claws gripping the armrest tightly. "This is our finest," he growled. "If anyone can end him, it is this champion." The human ambassador whispered nervously into his communicator, "Captain, this is the final one. He is unstoppable." Marcus did not flinch. He had expected this moment. He had trained his entire life for impossible odds. He had survived every creature sent to destroy him, and he would survive this one. The champion roared, a deep, bone-shaking sound that echoed across the arena and beyond. The holographic feeds projected it throughout the galaxy, sending shivers through millions of viewers. The tail lashed violently, tearing up the floor beneath it. Sparks flew as claws scraped the arena walls. Marcus stepped forward calmly, his eyes locked on the champion. Every muscle in his body was tense, ready, every instinct honed. The first strike came. The champion lunged, claws swinging with unimaginable speed and strength. Marcus dodged, rolled, and jumped onto a jagged rock. The giant's claw smashed the ground where he had been, sending shards flying. The audience gasped, and even the council looked nervous. The champion attacked again, faster this time. Marcus waited. He studied every movement, every twitch of muscle, every shift in weight. The first hit was a feint. The second a trap. Marcus predicted them all. He struck at the alien's joints, using his opponent's size against it. The champion stumbled, just slightly, but it was enough to show the human skill. The arena erupted with cheers, gasps, and whispers of disbelief. Trillions across the galaxy watched, unable to tear their eyes away. The council murmured nervously. The Zorak warlord hissed, "Impossible. No one has ever survived this long against him." The champion roared again and charged, more ferocious than ever. Marcus dodged, barely escaping each swipe, each strike that could have torn him apart. Sparks flew as claws collided with rock. The arena shook. Every movement Marcus made was calculated. He did not rely on strength alone. He relied on precision, intelligence, and human ingenuity. He used the environment, the champion's momentum, and even the creature's own rage against it. A massive swing came down. Marcus rolled beneath it, grabbed the champion's arm mid-strike, and twisted. The alien screamed as its own force threw it off balance. Marcus leapt onto its back, gripping tightly, and delivered a strike to a weak point beneath the scales. The champion staggered. The crowd went silent. No one could believe what they were witnessing. The greatest warrior of the Zorak Empire was struggling against a single human. Marcus did not hesitate. He had one chance, one perfect strike. He focused all his energy, all his strength, all his will into one precise movement. Using the alien's momentum, he flipped it onto the ground with a thunderous crash. The arena trembled. Rocks shattered. Sparks flew. The champion tried to rise, but Marcus was relentless. Every blow, every strike, every maneuver was calculated. The giant's claws were disarmed. Its tail no longer moved with lethal precision. Marcus had mastered the battle, turning the alien's strength into weakness. The arena erupted. Trillions across the galaxy cheered. Even some of the council members gasped openly. Fear and disbelief mixed in their eyes. The champion let out one final roar before collapsing. Marcus stood over it, chest heaving, bloodied and bruised, yet undefeated. His eyes scanned the arena, calm and unbroken. He had done what no one believed possible. He had defeated the final challenger. The council was silent. For the first time, every empire had seen the true power of humanity. The Zorak warlord's claws shook as he whispered, How is this possible? The insectoid queen's mandibles clicked nervously. We laughed at them. We mocked them. And now, one human has shown what an entire species might achieve. Marcus did not celebrate. He had no need to. The galaxy had already witnessed it. The human spirit had triumphed against impossible odds. One man had defeated the champions of the greatest empires in the universe. He took a step forward, walking slowly through the arena. The defeated champions lay around him, silent, broken, but alive, an unspoken sign of his restraint and honor. He did not gloat, he did not shout. His victory was quiet, yet it resonated across the stars. The council leaned forward in shock. Whispers of fear and awe spread. Humans, they cannot be controlled, they cannot be ignored. Marcus Hale had earned more than a seat. He had earned respect, fear, and the knowledge that humanity would never be dismissed again. The galaxy had watched, the empires had doubted, and the human warrior had proven that even one human could change the course of history. And the final lesson was clear: deny humanity, and they would not only rise, they would dominate. The last challenger had fallen, but the story of Marcus Hale and of humanity was just beginning. The arena was silent. Dust hung in the air, swirling around Marcus Hale as he stood alone, unbroken, victorious. Around him, the champions of the galaxy lay defeated but alive, a testament not only to his strength but to his restraint. The council chamber, once filled with laughter and mocking voices, now echoed with stunned silence. The Zorak warlord's claws trembled as he leaned forward. This human, he has defeated all of our champions. How? The insectoid queen's antennae twitched nervously. We underestimated them. We mocked them, and they have shown us strength beyond comprehension. Whispers filled the chamber. The audience across the galaxy watched in awe. Billions had witnessed a single human standing against the greatest empires of the universe and winning. Marcus Hale did not move immediately. He walked slowly through the arena, his steps measured, his posture calm and dignified. Blood stained his uniform. Bruises and cuts covered his arms and face. But his gaze was steady, his resolve unshaken. The speaker of the council finally rose. His voice, though strong, carried uncertainty. Human, your victories are undeniable. You have faced our champions and emerged unbroken. By your strength, skill, and courage, you have proven that humanity deserves a place in this council. The chamber fell completely silent. Every delegate held their breath, every species watching intently. No one dared speak. The human had forced their respect, not by words but by action. Marcus Hale approached the empty seat at the council circle. The seat had been denied to humanity just hours ago. Now, it awaited the one who had shown the galaxy the true power of his species. He did not rush. He did not gloat. He simply moved forward, every step deliberate, every breath controlled. When he reached the seat, he paused. For a moment, The universe seemed to hold its breath. And then, Marcus Hale sat. The chamber erupted, not in laughter, not in mockery, but in stunned realization. The seat that had been denied to humanity was now occupied by one man, one human, a symbol of resilience, intelligence, and the indomitable human spirit. The Zorak warlord bowed his head slightly, a gesture of respect he had never shown before. They earned it, he murmured. The insectoid queen clicked her mandibles quietly. We were wrong to doubt them. The humans, they are more than we imagined. Marcus did not speak. Words were unnecessary. His presence, his calm, and his victory spoke louder than any language. The galaxy now knew a simple truth. Humans were not to be dismissed. Across the universe, trillions of beings watched the broadcast. From the smallest insectoid colonies to the mightiest reptilian empires, the message was clear. Humans were not weak. Humans were not fragile. Humans were a force to be reckoned with. A human ambassador, standing near the council, whispered to Marcus through the communicator, "Captain, you have done more than represent humanity. You have changed the way the galaxy sees us." Marcus replied simply, "We do not ask for respect. We earn it." The council reconvened, this time with humans included. The other empires were cautious now, careful in their words and actions. They had learned a lesson that day. Underestimate humanity, and they would face consequences beyond imagination. The arena, once a place of mockery and spectacle, had become a symbol of what humans could achieve when pushed to the edge, when forced to fight against impossible odds. Marcus Hale stood and looked across the chamber. He saw fear in some eyes, awe in others, and a grudging respect in most. For the first time, humanity was recognized not as a fragile species from a remote planet, but as a rising power in the galaxy. The council members knew they could not ignore humans again. The laughter and mockery had ended. The rising fear that began in Part 4 had reached its peak. The galaxy now understood. Humans did not back down. Humans did not yield. And when they were denied, they would take what was theirs. Marcus Hale remained seated for a moment longer, letting the silence wash over the chamber. Then he rose, not as a conqueror, but as a representative of his species. The galaxy had watched, learned, and changed in the span of one trial. Outside the council chamber, across countless planets and star systems, the story spread like wildfire. One human warrior had faced the greatest empires of the galaxy and survived. One human had claimed what was denied. One human had shown the universe the power of humanity. For the first time in galactic history, humans were feared, respected, and no longer overlooked. The seed of humanity had been claimed, and the galaxy would never forget it. Marcus Hale turned his eyes to the stars visible through the council chamber's massive windows. The humans of Earth had earned their place among the stars, and this was only the beginning. He knew the galaxy would challenge them again. Other empires would test humans, try to limit them, doubt them. But Marcus also knew the truth. Humanity was unbreakable. Humanity was clever, relentless, and fearless. And humanity would always rise. The council had learned a lesson they would never forget. Deny humanity, and they will rise. Respect humanity, or be left behind. Marcus Hale, the one human warrior, had not just claimed a seat. He had claimed the respect of the galaxy. The galaxy had watched. The galaxy had learned. And humanity had proven its worth. The story of Marcus Hale, the human who faced impossible odds and survived, would be told for generations. A single human had changed the course of galactic history, and the empires who had denied him a seat would regret it for eternity.